So many women struggling with fertility are told the answer is to track more, try harder, or move faster towards IVF. But what if the real problem is that their body no longer feels safe to get pregnant? Today's conversation breaks down why high-performing women doing everything right may actually be pushing their bodies further away from conception, and the three-step framework that's helped bring over 700 babies into the world naturally. But the surprising part is what happens when you stop treating fertility like a reproductive problem alone and start looking at the hidden signals the body has been sending all along. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health transformational coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head on over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Sonia Ribas. Sonia is the founder of the Fertility Solution and a fertility coach with more than 15 years of experience helping women and couples optimize fertility through a personalized, research-backed, holistic approach. After leaving a successful corporate career to pursue her calling, she has supported thousands of clients worldwide and helped welcome over 700 babies through her Detox, Nourish, and Flow framework. Welcome to the show, Sonia, and great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. So let me start you off with the big question. What's the most significant thing in your opinion as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Oh, I love that. I would say start from within. Start from within. And one of my messages, whether it's fertility or health, is don't force things. Take a step back, look at what you truly need, what your body truly needs when you start from within and work smarter and not harder.
I love that. And it is so important. And I really feel like it's the beginning part of almost everything that we look at in life if we want to make it better. The only thing we can really change is ourselves.
Mhm.
It will have an impact on others, but it starts with us. And I love what you're doing because you're really helping bring new life into the world. And we're kind of running into a crisis in terms of people not knowing how to get pregnant.
Absolutely.
And if we don't have pregnant people, we are going to cease being a species. That's, that's
That's so true. Yeah,
a big thing.
indeed. Not only is it sad and, for people experiencing infertility, it's incredibly challenging, but also it's a silent one. It's
Mhm.
we don't talk about. 63% of people who have fertility issues don't talk about it with anyone. So it's this silent kind of like nightmare that people go through completely in isolation, which totally breaks my heart.
I think that might stem from the fact that 40 years ago, the prevailing thought was that there are too many people, you shouldn't have children. And so if you were infertile, it was kind of like, well, that's a good thing. You don't have to pay for birth control pills. I can remember my parents saying to me, um, I had five kids and I'm 66. So I went through that period of time during the 70s and 80s when I first started having children, where my parents were like, you know how that happens, don't you? And they kind of like were shaming me, honestly. Every time I got pregnant, they shamed me about it.
Yes.
It's like, this is the most natural thing in the world for a human being to have more human beings because ultimately, if we stop having children, what are you going to do? Like test tube babies?
Mhm.
That's the brave new world.
You're so right. We spend as women most of our life trying to not get pregnant. And then when you do try to get pregnant, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought this would be immediate. And it's not at all immediate. As a matter of fact, all this birth control that I've been taking has been damaging my health, suppressing my ovaries to a lot of times a point of no return. So yeah, it's one of these big contradictions in life.
And young women, because of the way the medical community is right now, don't realize the impact of other medical procedures that they're participating in,
Mhm.
how they can affect your fertility. Um, I'll just say it right out. Vaccines is one.
Mhm.
There's a lot around vaccination. I don't care which side of the
Yeah.
aisle you're on that. But anytime you put something in your body, the mass consumption of soda pop
Mhm.
in the population are really damaging to your health. And this is just the women's health. Men's health, the rise in the use of pot
Mhm.
publicly cuts down sperm production. It's just like everything is stacked against you, and yet still we're like promoting birth control pills like they're candy out there, and we shame people who have children out of wedlock. It's
Mhm.
like brand new human being on its way. Lots of people who want them.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Got right up on my soapbox there for you. So you work with a lot of women who feel like they're doing everything right, but still aren't getting pregnant. So what do you think the missing link is for most of them?
So what I've been seeing in the 15 years that I've been a fertility coach is that most women trying to conceive are not broken. Okay, they come to me thinking they are broken. They are not broken. But very often the body is adapting to stress, inflammation, depletion, hormone imbalance, years of suppression, what we just said, or survival patterns that nobody has fully connected together yet. And then you get this label of infertile or unexplained infertility. And it's probably a combination of factors. It's not the one thing, but it's a combination of factors, which are a result of how we live in the modern world. We say that a woman today in her 20s is less fertile than her grandmother was at 35. And that's a compounding effect of all the things that we do in today's society that that actually make us be very distant from our natural form, which is the form that we need to get pregnant. We live very, very artificial lives to the point that we have normalized very high levels of stress. We have normalized going to bed really late or sleeping very few hours. It's kind of like it's a flex if you're super busy and kind of like overloaded. We have normalized very low levels of nutrition, very low nutritional density. We have normalized living with a lot of toxins around us that we just don't recognize anymore. And there's a lot of things we've normalized. So our body is responding and adapting to that. And it's not that we are unfertile or broken, it's that we are subfertile because there's a lot of things that we're doing in our daily basis that are compounding over years that are affecting our health. And our fertility is an extension of our health.
Yeah, it's a big, big factor.
Mhm.
If you're not healthy, you're probably not going to get pregnant. Or
Yeah.
you could get pregnant and then you're going to have problems with
Yes.
the pregnancy.
Hmm. Yeah, of course, my clients would give you a lot of examples of people around them who are not taking care of themselves and getting pregnant, which is very frustrating. There are exceptions to everything. But overall, of course, like if you're not healthy, your chances of getting pregnant or your chances of having complications or the chances of the baby having complications are way, way higher.
And do you find that there are a lot of people around that have like not overarching health problems like we've been discussing, bad nutrition and things like that, but there's also it seems to me to be a rise in like um ovarian cysts and fibroids and endometriosis and actual things that are affecting their reproductive organs and
Mhm.
causing problems.
Absolutely. We think fertility is only a problem of the reproductive system. And that's one of the myths that I always break. Fertility is much more than your reproductive system.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, one of the things that impacts fertility the most is your nervous system. If you are in fight or flight, which has nothing to do with your ovaries, if you are in fight or flight here, or trauma that's happening in your life, or not managing stress properly, or just normalizing very high levels of cortisol, your system will prioritize the body functions that are essential for your survival. And guess what's not essential for your survival? Your reproductive function. So it's going to go in the back burner. It's going to become optional. It's kind of like this luxury function that your body says, I'll only get to that if everything else is going well. So what do you do? Instead of forcing and bypassing and forcing your ovaries, which is what IVF does, forcing your ovaries to produce extra follicles and extra eggs artificially, instead of doing that, what we do is we go to the source of why your body, why your system is blocking a pregnancy in the first place.
And it's we're bioelectrical beings. It's all a chemical reaction. You can, if you're having the right groups of chemicals dropping into your system at the right times, you're more likely to get pregnant. And it starts in your head.
Mhm.
What you think about drops those chemicals into your body. The emotions are just chemical reactions that your brain it's released certain hormones, which are chemicals, to cause certain reactions in your body. It's just like we don't teach anybody this stuff.
Yes. So what I always tell my clients, the first thing we do together is where in your life are you operating on survival mode? Even if you haven't thought about this ever this way, or even if you have normalized things, like where are you operating on survival mode? If you start analyzing it, you will find it. Or another way to look at it is I will give you recommendations on how your ideal life should look, and then you'll see how different you're operating from that. Because we need to get you out of survival mode and get you into what we call homeostasis, which is the state in which all your body functions work optimally. There's no body function put in the back burner. You have bandwidth to be well and to do everything well, all your body functions. You're ovulating well, you're menstruating well, your hormones are regulated, what you were saying, your chemicals are regulated, everything's going in harmony, and that's when your body will say yes to a pregnancy.
Pregnancies take a lot out of your body. If you're getting pregnant and you're starting at a deficit, it's hard.
Yes, so that's why we operate with a three-system process. We call it detox, nourish, and flow. So in the first phase, detox, we remove obstacles, we lower inflammation, we remove what's in the way. The second step, which is called nourish, that's when we nourish your overall system. So to your point, if you are depleted in nutrients, it could be physical nutrients, but it could be also mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually depleted. We need to nourish you with a holistic approach. That's what we do here, right? So we nourish you from every possible angle. What you put in your mouth, your food, your supplements, what you drink, how you move, how you think, what your weight is in terms of your body composition, your thoughts, your emotions, your toxins, your libido, your communication with people, with your communication with your partner, past trauma, nervous system blockages, subconscious stuff that is blocking a pregnancy as well. Because if something has happened in your life, whether it's childhood or later, that your subconscious brain registered, getting pregnant is dangerous because you had an abortion when you were young, or because something happened, you were abused, or because you've been trying to get pregnant forever and you've been loss after loss after loss. All this is trauma. If this trauma is not processed and healed, your subconscious mind will block a pregnancy. And then in the third step, flow, that's when we personalize everything, right? Following the principle of bio-individuality, which means that a person's food can be another person's poison. And it's very important that everything that we do, we personalize it and we get real feedback from every single client so that not only do we get them to homeostasis at a moment in time, but also in a sustained way. Because when your system is in a sustained homeostasis state for 4 months, that's when we see pregnancies.
So how long do people normally work with you? And do you work like all the way through the pregnancy and after?
Yes.
Just like,
Yes. So I will say 90% of my clients are trying to get pregnant. Once they get pregnant, it's their choice whether they want to continue with my support or they want to, be on their own. By that time, they've learned so much that a lot of them have all the tools to be on their own. But if they choose to stay with me, I have a pregnancy program as well. And I also see them through postpartum, breastfeeding, and all that comes after as well. But 90% is my fertility program.
and is it one-on-one? Is it group? How does all that look?
That's a great question. So it's a hybrid. Okay, so in the program, we work with three tools. We work with education, we work with coaching, and community support. And in the coaching, we have three ways in which I communicate with people. We have private sessions, we have group sessions. We call it the group hug. We have that twice a week, and it's beautiful. And we also have unlimited back and forth texting with me. So they can send me their hormones daily, they can tell me daily how things are going. I'm very, very big on feedback because with precise feedback, that's when I can personalize things for my tribe, for my people. And we also have graduates from the program that are super grateful and that come visit us. Some of them are clinical psychologists. They lead some of our group sessions. So we have this kind of like tribe community of women supporting each other through this journey and beyond.
How beautiful is that?
Mhm.
Something that I feel has been missing in society for a very long time is women coming together that are in that period of time because it's a unique space.
Yes.
And often women get pregnant and they're just out there on their own or they're trying to get pregnant and the only support they have is the medical community. And often it's a male doctor who just doesn't understand. He's been given the checklist and I don't know. Personally, I get annoyed when I go into the doctor's office and they're just like obviously checking it off the list. It's like, hello, I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Do you work with the medical community in terms of testing? You mentioned your hormone
Yeah.
data. Do you have like,
Yes. So most of my cases are alone with my clients. And when I say hormone data, that means we use a tracker,
mhm,
either an Inedo or a Mira tracker. And then every morning they track their hormones at home. They send me a screenshot of where they are in their cycle, how their hormones
mhm.
are looking. And then I comment for them. I tell them, hey, you're about to ovulate, sexy time. Or like I say, hey, now you're in your 2 week wait. Let's continue tracking to see your progesterone levels and things like that. So I comment in real life, in real time, based on trackers that we have at home. Now, sometimes we need to run certain labs. For that, we work with doctors.
Mhm.
And sometimes I collaborate, especially in Europe, I collaborate with fertility clinics where patients are encouraged to follow my program before being candidates for IVF. Why? Because 50% of IVF cases are not needed. So if you don't need it, why put yourself through all that? It doesn't
It's
make
a
any
lot
sense, right?
too.
Plus, it's very expensive. And then the other 50% where they are needed, at least we optimize their chances, because in the words of one of these fertility clinics doctors, he told me one time, and it truly stuck with me, IVF is the most expensive lottery in the world. And it totally is, if we want to call it that, but it totally is, right? So if you're going to go play that lottery, get as many lottery tickets as you can, optimize your system, do your work first so that, okay, you're going to you go through that, but then you have the highest possible chance of success.
I have a daughter-in-law who did go through IVS. She got actually got pregnant a couple of times, but her eggs, there was something wrong with her eggs. And so she had to go through IVS a couple of times in order to get enough viable eggs. And by viable, there's like three. And you know how many they produce when they
Yeah.
get you going with the IVF stuff. It was horrendous. They
Hmm.
have two beautiful children. Only cost them about $100,000
Yeah.
for both of those children. It's just like you guys were really wanted.
Yeah, it's crazy the cost. I have a client in New York who did 15 rounds of IVF before doing the program.
That's just,
Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to run the numbers, but and she's so petite, and at some point her ovaries were just not no reacting at all to any of the medication, to any of the stimulation. We had to take a break, do the program, regather, give, like optimize her system truly for like 4 months. And then she was ready for her final and successful round of IVF. She now has a beautiful toddler.
oh,
Yeah.
another one of those you were really wanted.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
That's so amazing.
Mhm.
And so how often do people actually become pregnant when they go through the whole process with you?
I have a
Yeah,
success rate of 70%.
that's really good.
It is really good. I will say I am selective on who I work with.
Mhm,
I have a team, but I'm the fertility coach of the team, and I have a limited capacity.
mhm.
I'm also a single mom of 3 kids, um, and we are selective on who we work with. But if we all decide it's a match made in heaven and that we're going to work together, I roll up my sleeves and I go in the trenches with them to truly optimize their chances for success.
And do you work with the partners as well, or is it just
Absolutely. Yes.
one?
So my program is a couple approach program.
Mhm,
So we definitely cover both members of the couple. I will say, though, that I wish more male partners were more engaged in the journey. And I don't want to blame them. I get it. Fertility, we were talking earlier about how taboo fertility is for male, even more so. And there seems to be this idea that if you have fertility problems and if you have a male factor within the fertility problems, that it kind of somewhat questions your masculinity or something like that. Obviously, I totally
mhm.
agree with that. But I do see that it's difficult to get the male partners involved as much as the women. But I
I,
try. I really try.
yeah, I think it maybe if we were better at the education part when they were younger, that these all these things impact you, and we have things that people just they don't even think about men riding bicycles. They don't think about that, or hot tubs,
Hmm.
or just uh, even the type of underwear you wear. I mean, little things can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And
Or wearing your cell phone in your pocket,
yeah.
or having your laptop on your lap. Also edibles. Now, you brought up earlier cannabis.
Mhm.
I
Uh-huh.
see this. Obviously, I live in California, so this is a place for cannabis. But I see this so much. Like now, people are telling me, "Oh, don't worry, I don't smoke." No, but you take 3 edibles a day. So there's so much research proving that cannabis is absolutely detrimental for sperm health. So since we are now giving a little shout out to the men, this is just a big reminder because this
Yeah.
is all over now. Hmm.
And it lasts in your system for a long time.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, your little swimmers, they keep growing, but you keep knocking them down, and eventually they're not gonna jump back up as fast.
Well, that's the thing. And once we've decided that this is it, we're doing this as a couple, we're investing in this. This is not a free program. This is a significant investment. And you
Mhm.
have your wife or your partner giving it her all. Come on, be a team player.
Yeah.
I always say for the men, you're so lucky because we only need your efforts until the day she gets pregnant. After that, do whatever you want. Obviously, I'd love for you to be healthy and for you to be a healthy dad and a healthy person until the day you die, but it's optional. It's your choice. For the woman, she needs to stay healthy forever and ever because she's going to carry the baby, she's going to breastfeed the baby, and so on, right? So do your part because your journey is way shorter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
So, for somebody listening right now who feels frustrated, exhausted, and maybe even losing hope, what are the first signs that their body can maybe finally be moving back into alignment for conception? If that
So,
makes
number
sense.
one, mindset wise, I have so many people come to me that are completely defeated and have been, I call, abused by the fertility clinic universe. You are not broken. Yes, you can do this. There's very, very few cases in which it's an absolute zero chance. Okay.
Mhm.
So don't let the naysayers, even if they wear a white coat, don't let them stop you. And we need to infuse you with what we call hormone belief. Why? Because neuroscience has proven that your life is a result of what you believe, not of what you say, not of what you think, but of what you truly believe in your subconscious mind. So we will do a lot of work on that, on get you to believe and get you to trust yourself. I have a client who's now, she sent me yesterday her update. She's 18 weeks pregnant. When she started with me, she was diagnosed with menopause, not menstruating, AMH 0.015, which is undetectable. All the odds against her. Thyroid problems as well. She had a bunch of health problems, but she had hormone belief. Hormone belief is made up, by the way. I'm just making it up here. She had hormone belief, and we capitalized on that. We leveraged that. She started menstruating the second month we started working together. Her hormonal chart started being by the book. True miracle story. She got pregnant the third month, and now she's 18 weeks pregnant. It's one of these miracles where you're like, wow, how did we do that? But I will say her hormone belief has always been there. Does that mean that everybody who believes it's going to be the same miracle? No, I'm not promising miracles. I'm just sharing what's possible. So you were asking me, what do we do? First is mindset. Okay. Second thing we do is um, the whole holistic approach I was mentioning earlier. So I navigate them through all the areas of their lifestyle that are somewhat related to fertility, and we optimize them one by one, not with things that I'm making up, but with research-backed methods. So we go into nutrition, we go into supplements, into hydration, into weight management, thoughts, emotions, movements. I'm a yoga teacher as well. So I have a lot of workout, we call it activation videos. We go to look at your sex drive, at your hormones, at everything that you do in your daily life that ends up becoming part of who you are, part of your biology. And we optimize it one by one. With a very personalized approach, very close to my clients every step of the way. And at some point, your system clicks. And when it clicks, you get into homeostasis. I want you to be in homeostasis for 4 months. Why? Because the eggs you're going to be ovulating in 4 months are starting to grow now. So I need 4 months to optimize your egg quality and be strong and solid there. And that's when we see all the pregnancies happen.
So much. So, how do people get into your master class? You have a walk. Just go ahead. You tell them.
Yeah, so we were mentioning the 3 steps that we use to help couples get pregnant. You can find it at thefertilitysolution.com. It's a free video, and it truly tells you everything you need to know with real case studies. I promise you it's worth your time. It's just half an hour. If after that you want our help, you get instructions on how to book a call with my team. But start there because that's going to give you an idea about true practical things that you can do to truly optimize your fertility and boost your chances.
So, when it comes to the nutrition part, are you giving people diets to go on, or is it just guidelines? How does stuff like that look in real
And
life?
that's one of the ways in which I personalize things. So some people respond really well to very specific diets. For those people, we make diets. Some people respond better to guidelines, like a plate structure, and like let me have some freedom and let me have some flexibility within that plate structure. That's fine too. Most of my clients, especially at the beginning of the program, I ask them to send me pictures of everything they eat. So not only are they following guidelines, but I also give them very specific feedback when I see your plate visually. Because a lot of the times we think, and I don't want to blame anyone, but we think we're being healthy, and actually what we are eating is not helping us. Like I have people who tell me I make this massive effort to have oatmeal in the morning. I don't like oatmeal. I don't enjoy oatmeal, but I think
Don't
it's
eat
good
it.
for me. So I'm taking oatmeal. A bowl of oatmeal is not a fertility plate at all. At all. So let me show you how to eat, which, I'm happy to share. Our fertility plate is half the plate should be veggies, different colored veggies. A quarter of your plate should be protein, whether it's plant or animal, your choice. And then the remainder half should be carbs, sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, things like that. Some grains if you like them. I prefer more sweet potatoes. It's a lot easier to digest. And then the other half of your plate of that quarter should be fats. So roughly we say one fist size carbs, two thumbs fats, that could be avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds, a quarter of your plate, which should be a palm size protein, and then half your plate should be veggies, non-starchy veggies. And try to replicate that every time you eat. Obviously, we have smoothies as well. We have snack versions of that as well that we offer our clients. We have hundreds of recipes. So no matter what your style is in terms of how you like to be guided, we will meet you there so that you are effective because we want for you to succeed. I take my clients' dreams very seriously and I want for them to succeed.
So this has been amazing. How do people reach out to you?
So there's different ways. I would start at thefertilitysolution.com, watch that free masterclass. I think you'll find it really useful for yourself. If you at that point want to have a talk with my team, there's instructions there in terms of how to book a call. I also have my website, soniaribas.com. That way you can see everything that we do, not just fertility, but also pregnancy and postpartum. And you can follow me on Instagram at Sonia Ribas Coach.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Sonia. This has been a fascinating conversation. I really, truly love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice spending this time with you.
You can learn more about Sonia and attend the free masterclass by visiting thefertilitysolution.com, and we'll put all of her links in the show notes below. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head to thecoachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. We have all the power to change the world. Start today and get visible.